Welcome to the Rigatoni Capital podcast on Substack. I am here with my loyal friend and co-host David Winchell. How are you?
How's it going, man? Good to be back.
Uh, I'd be doing well if Bitcoin, had a little bit of a bump here. It kind of breathed a little bit of life after the government announced they made a deal.
Did it get passed? I thought it just got through the Senate or something.
Yeah, who knows? I don't follow it that
Yeah.
closely, but yeah, it looks like it's a done deal.
Yeah, hell with Bitcoin. What about MSTR just getting murdered?
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I,
disturbing.
I kind of ignore it, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I try to, but it just keeps going down precipitously and making me nauseous. I'm like,
I'm not too worried about MSTR. You know why? Like I said, I think this has something to do with Bitcoin volatility not being there. We have been so flat and in a trading range, and I think that's what this has to do with. If it was more volatile, I think that MSTR stock would do something here. That's what I think.
well, the recent thing I heard about the exchanges, I heard there's the lowest ever amount of Bitcoin on exchange right now, and it's around 2 million. If you do the math on that, 2 million times 100,000 roughly is what Bitcoin
Mhm.
is at. That's 200 billion. That's only a tenth of Elon Musk's pay package.
Mhm.
He could wipe out all the exchanges in one felt swoop. Wouldn't even dent
Yeah,
his pay package.
yeah. I mean, any day now, I always thought we would have some kind of supply shock. I'm sure we'll get one in my lifetime.
I like it, or I think it's going to be from the regular. I think that's how this is playing out. Like the regular Joes of the world are getting a chance.
Hmm.
They're kind of because the rich or the more wealthy you are, the better it is that the system keeps going along for you because you're doing fine.
Sure.
The rich get richer in this system and the poor stay the same. You can only be as broke is. Once you're
Yeah.
broke, you don't go past. Although you could argue that even with credit cards and
Yeah.
mortgages.
Well, the system is like 10% on the S&P, and if you compare that to Bitcoin since 2020, that chart's like going down
Yeah,
against Bitcoin. So
yeah,
really, they're just like preserving their wealth instead of buying bonds.
right. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But
Here,
Bitcoin's
I'll,
having trouble getting its sea legs. I think it's because of the liquidity. And the government being shut down, that's ties up so much money. Uh,
sure.
TGA, the Treasury General account, I think it is
Yeah.
swelling. Like people that are on Snap, like you hear stories like people that do eyebrows aren't getting paid because Snap
Yeah.
benefits aren't going out because
Yeah,
that's a
exactly.
different currency. You can think of Snap as a different currency. I
Yep.
mean, ET cards, it's not like you go there with shame in your eyes and present these food stamps anymore. It's just like a credit card or debit card. Nobody knows.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
So I,
Um, yeah, I'm gonna try to share the screen. Hold on. Share. Let's see. Content only? Does that work? No. Let's try something else. Because I'm trying to like see if we can advance sharing options. Nope.
well, I can see it. I don't know if you're a viewer.
But you can't see my face, right?
Yeah, I can see your face in the little side screen.
Yeah, I don't know if they can see it if I'm recording it. Here, I think I got it. Let's try this. Yeah, that's weird, huh? Hmm. All right. So, yeah, see, I can't see it on I'm gonna try to stop it real quick. Um, share screen two as a background. Share. No, same thing. Oh well. Yeah, let's go maybe over some how the stock market did today. Even though I want to talk Bitcoin with you. Um, looks like one thing I wanted to point out was Circle. Circle had their earnings and I guess they're not making any money. Surprise,
Oh,
surprise.
right. Coin.
Yeah,
I don't
if
think,
if
the,
Tether ever was if Tether ever was a public stock, I would definitely want to buy that.
you know, yeah, that company prints money, but even them, you know, I wouldn't doubt if uh, these governments and all these stable coins, it's like they're way out. Like now we're just going to, instead of calling it a CBDC, which got a negative connotation in the public, now we're just going to go with stablecoin, which is
Yeah.
basically going to be the new CBDC, central bank digital coin or
How do you
digital.
feel about, yeah, exactly. How do you feel about Tether, using a purchase plan of Bitcoin though to hold on their balance sheet?
Oh, Paulo Ardoino, I think is his name. I don't really know how to pronounce that, but he's a Bitcoiner and he's extremely smart with what he's doing. But yeah, he's got a fortress balance sheet, Bitcoin, gold, and real estate. How are you going to go wrong? But you think about it, we don't need a stable coin in this country.
Of course, yeah.
We're only
Doesn't make much
4.2
sense.
of the population, so it's not really for us. But yeah, he's playing on the rest of the world, catching up to what, you know, all the Bitcoiners already know
Yeah.
is we have the best currency, the US dollar, and now we have a better currency, which is Bitcoin. So,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna, the only people that use these stable coins in the Bitcoin uh, stratosphere is traders. And true
Sure.
Bitcoiners really don't trade. They just buy
Buy and
and
hold.
stack, or they've already went all in and they just, they swap out of currencies if they need to spend fiat. If somebody
Yeah.
doesn't use Bitcoin, but you heard about last week, I think it was the 10th, Square just went live with 4 million
Yeah.
uh, things, or what do you call those? POS,
Yep.
point of sale servers all across the world.
Any
So
issues?
I'm sure there's, probably half the vendors won't even use it. They
Yeah.
don't know, oh, what's Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Well, you like people, if you point them to Cash App, people don't even realize there's a Bitcoin wallet in your Cash App, sitting
Yeah.
waiting for you. You could send, I don't know, 2 to 5 grand right into your wallet
Sure.
from any Bitcoin wallet out there. Your Uncle Jim or your Uncle Rico or your Rigatoni's legacy fund. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think part of that post I did last night was, Scott Bessent is more than happy to sell 1 to 3 month treasury bills to someone like a Tether. Tether was probably buying a lot of it, and that's what caused the overnight money to dry up for these banks, and but like I think you said like, yeah, it doesn't help the U.S. citizen, but it sure does help Scott Bessent and the U.S. government and the Treasury because they would love to have a buyer of their treasuries, right?
Oh yeah, he's the number that's Scott Bessent's job is to sell treasuries. That's his number one to keep the the balls spinning in the air, keep people buying these treasuries. Because without him selling treasuries, what the hell is the US government gonna do?
Yeah,
They gotta keep I mean, when people think about $38 trillion in debt, where where's this debt owed? Who's financing it? What's the interest on it? It's bewildering. It's disturbing. Just getting into the weeds with trillions of dollars is disturbing.
yeah. like buying a 1 to 3 month or even a 6 month. Like I even buy 6 month treasuries in like a certain account I have because it's like risk free, and the 10 year, they can't sell the 10 year. Um,
Well,
why would anyone want to buy the 10 year?
yeah, because people are starting to doubt the empire. Like the empire of the U.S. government has never had any doubt. That's why U.S. Treasuries they have zero, risk in people's minds. Well,
Hmm.
we go out 10 years in today's day and age, we always talk about how fast this world moves. It's a little different. Yeah, 6 months, I think you're good. I don't think the empire is going to fall in 6 months, but if you keep spreading yourself thin, going to war with everyone and their brother, people get sick of that. They don't like their
Hmm.
hospitals bombed and their their
Yeah.
schools bombed. The last thing
Yeah.
the Palestinians are going to want to do is buy a stablecoin for the U.S., not because it's not valuable, but because of principle. They know we sell the bombs to Israel, and they, use our bombs, our military, our expertise, and they'd probably want to buy Bitcoin if they. I don't think they're worried about currencies at this point over there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you would think. Silver, look at this chart.
Yeah, the
Silver went all the way down
metal
to
is
low
so nuts.
40s.
Wow, that's nuts. I don't pay
Um,
close attention, but I did see
Shoot.
they both rallied today. What's it
Let's
today?
see.
That
Well, I heard that silver hit 50,
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I saw the chart.
but this chart's not showing that, is it?
It says
Can't
40.
go by can't go by trading view. But yeah, no, look at that. And I know people that bought like down here and they rode it all the way down, and hopefully they didn't get scared and sell.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. Look at gold. Um, the VIX is down, I guess, after the government decided they wanted to make a deal. So I think that's why the VIX is a little bit down from, let's see, where were we? Wow, we were at 22.
Hmm.
Um, I think the Dow Jones is hitting an all-time high.
Oh, surprise, surprise. I don't think
Um,
they can let the markets fall apart. I think
no,
AI and all that, that's what's keeping it afloat. But
I,
if it's
I
not
think
AI,
it's
it's got to be something else.
as somebody that's still invested in stocks over here, I like to see a rotation into the Dow, although that's not really a rotation because half of those stocks are the Mag 7 now and there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I kind of wanted to show you this, and then I see yields fell down today with Bitcoin. Um, let's see, AMD is on fire. Let's look at AMD. AMD is hitting all-time highs pretty much, almost.
Nice.
AMD chart. Chipotle is recovering from its sell-off. They had a 52-week low, I think, yesterday. So they had a bounce today.
Yeah.
Um, let's see what else. Look at SoFi. I don't know if you know this company.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's Shamath Palihapitiya.
they hit a all-time high. Um,
Yeah, they're
just
they're the first bank to do something with Bitcoin. I think they said you can buy it in their bank now.
mhm.
Yeah, that's probably what it's up on.
All right. And then I have
Check out Lily, LLY.
yeah, they've been in the news. What's going on with that? I don't follow the drug loss
Thing went down
GPL.
for like 600. Now it's above 1,000.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I have a friend that works here. He's happy.
yeah, that's a good stock that just it doesn't really
Look at
trade
this.
along with everything. It's just never.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like one of those Costco stocks that's just, nice to
yeah,
have as an off thing. And it's they're doing that Mounjaro, or I don't know. I think it's
Yeah.
Zepbound, those GLP ones.
Yeah.
I don't like the pharmaceutical industries, but I got
Yeah, I don't really partake in this whole thing because I don't want to learn about it, and autos, I don't do cars. Those are the two sectors I stay away from.
yeah,
It's just a rule I have,
the PE multiple on it is good, and the
The
forward
f-
PE, the peg ratio is great. You know,
this is Lily.
yeah, I think it's under one is the peg ratio.
Yeah, it's always hard to find an updated ratio
Yeah, I
on
just
these
grokked it.
companies.
That's what I do. I just grok everything now. If I need information,
Yeah, but is Grok accurate with that?
I don't know.
They have a
I just
forward.
believe it.
Yeah,
That's
this isn't up to date. It's probably a day or two old, but this is 32 forward P.
yeah, 26. Wow,
Peg ratio of 0.6.
that's beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Um, this I pulled up Wall Street Journal the central banking section,
Hmm.
and here are the headlines: Atlanta Fed President Bostic to retire. That no one cares. Bank of Canada officials debated delaying a rate cut. Minutes say. So who does that remind you of? The U.S. right now. Then the ECB's key interest rate is in a good place. India's inflation cools to new low, eases more than expected. So my point of bringing this up is like, is this why Bitcoin's selling off? Because the headlines are saying that they're not, the rate cuts globally, they kind of already did their rate cut cycle. So if you look at a rate, the rates and all these other countries that were cutting rates while the US stayed firm, it looks like it leveled off and it's kind of flattened, and it kind of looks like the rate cycle has ended in all these other countries. Whereas the US, they haven't really started yet. So, maybe this has something to do with sentiment around Bitcoin. Not like it should. I don't agree with it.
Did you hear about that stimmy or the $2,000 tariff thing Trump was talking about?
Yeah, that's pretty bullish for Bitcoin, in my opinion.
That would be, if you look back to the stimmy they gave you in COVID,
2020, yeah.
that $1,200 would be worth somewhere around 18 grand right now.
If you bought Bitcoin with it.
Right? Yeah, if you bought
Yeah.
Bitcoin with it. That's nuts. I
Let's see
I
here.
wasn't a Bitcoin. I still was skeptical at that point. I think GameStop was the moment of my.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't really understand Bitcoin until like 2 years ago, sadly, so I missed that.
I'm class of
Um,
2021. That makes
that's a
you.
good class. That's a good
Yeah,
class.
I know, and I like Mahlers. I keep
Nowers,
saying
uh-huh.
Mahlers just sound. He is kind of a mauler when you're. But Mahlers, just think about being in that class. Like how early were some of these people? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're like multi-billionaires almost, right?
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it. I'm in the class of like 2011 when I heard about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but you
But
didn't graduate.
it doesn't do anything. My
You
daughter
failed
said,
class. You failed class.
yeah, I flunked for a lot of years. Did you hear about the Chinese accusing the US of stealing all that Bitcoin?
Yeah, it's in the queue here. I don't really understand or care, but I'll bring it up.
I think it's
Um,
super cool to think about just the fact that these nation state, or let's be real, these are all agencies within the nation states, but these people in these agencies are starting to realize like Bitcoin has real value,
is this what you're
tangible
talking
value.
about? China says U.S. stole 13 billion in Bitcoin
Exactly.
ties heist to seize crypto from Cambodia tycoon.
Yep.
Yeah, well, they're saying that they stole back in 2020, and they're
Yeah.
just now finding out that
Yeah.
they.
But think about that. Think how little 13 billion is in a nation, like
Mhm.
within nation states, how little for them to be even concerned in making news of this. makes you think like even them,
Yeah, why
even
would
they
China care? Or why would
something
Beijing care?
because it's going to go up in value so much because they all kind of see, they all know like fiat currencies only go down in value over time.
Mhm.
They're not stupid. They know how it works.
Yeah, I saw they're doing QE, China. They're buying bonds. Um, their central bank. Yeah, no, I don't really understand the story other than they're blaming the US had something to do with a state level hacker operation.
Yeah, well, I heard about this story. Um, it was one of the largest, like a phishing scam or some kind of scam where they sent all the Bitcoin to this address and then they couldn't get it back. And turns out that they're saying it was agencies in the US basically that did it,
What does
which makes
Cambodia have to do with this?
they're a pig butchering. I think it's you ever hear of pig butchering?
No,
These,
they're
these,
killing pigs?
no, it's a term used for, I know it's very confusing when you first hear it, but basically these people get held uh, in these call centers against their will, and they have to like scam people on the phone. And
Oh, yeah.
these people are like basically incarcerated and
Hmm.
they're detained and their families, they're like threatened, we're going to kill your family unless you know, do
Yeah.
stuff we're telling you to do. So it's not a good situation, but I don't know. I mean, what they put out on the news, I'm suspect of everything. So
And you have to rely on China saying this.
yeah, well, China's accusing the U.S., which is suspect right there. Like, who is the U.S.? Like, could you be more vague? Is it the Trump regime? Is it the Biden regime? Is
It's
it
the deep state.
yeah? Is it the deep state? I mean, who? Nobody even knows who's running the show anymore, and they like it that way.
Yeah,
Obs-
exactly.
Obfuscation is the name. Let's be real. The governments across the world use deception as their number one tool. Almost in every facet, deception is the game.
Give me an example.
Well, the CIA has built the Mossad, all these Five Eyes, every GCHQ, all these agencies, the top agencies of the agencies are the most deceptive agents. It's their double agents. Deception's their main game.
You're not going to get Rigatoni Capital shut down, are you?
Well, you're on Substack, which is not, it's the fact that we only have like a baker's dozen listeners should keep us safe. But just blame it on me. They're already after me anyway. Yeah, I'm just learning here. I don't know what's going on with this Bitcoin for precedence guy. He's a little off. No, but deception is just the name of the game. I mean, think about the FBI.
Hmm.
What in the heck's going on with Cash Patel? He's so before he got in, he's talking about, these disclosure things, we're gonna get to the bottom of the Epstein, all this stuff. He gets in, what's he doing? Nothing. He can't even,
Yeah.
what's going on with the Charlie Kirk thing. Candace Owens is the axe on that situation. You got FBI has got this story that makes no sense. I mean, no sense. The whole thing is like, I don't even follow it that close, but really, you just can't make this stuff up. Cash Patel covering up the Epstein, which he lost all his credibility doing that, and then he goes in. We caught the guy in 33 hours. What do you mean? The dad turned this guy in, or so. You didn't catch anyone. Don't claim victory when you didn't do anything. just
I don't follow it at all. And anytime I see anything about that, I just shut it off because I can't focus on the finance, the economy, investing, and then as soon as that political stuff comes in, I lose track.
oh, it's all very noisy. And when you think of politics, just think of the WWE. Would you waste your time watching WWE? Because you know it's fake. I mean, we know it's fake. The difference in
Yeah,
politics is people believe this is real. Like
yeah, they're
real
all actors and
people.
actresses. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, Trump, he played in the WWE. So
Yeah, he wanted to be an actor.
he had his own show. You're fired.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Reagan,
true.
go back to Ronald Reagan, was an actor.
Yep,
You
yep,
know, and then when these actors get out of line, they get their ears
y-
clipped.
yep.
You know, you're not saying the right sounds. The right sound, the vibrations that are coming out of your mouth are not making the right vibrations. So
Right.
let's move on. We got a little
That's
off the
okay.
beaten path there.
This is your space to talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. I pulled this up. This is supposed to be breaking news. Dollar weakness emerging amid debt and credibility concerns. Um, Orbis's Nick Purser warned that the dollar's safe haven status is cracking as rising U.S. debt, widening deficits, and eroding trust in U.S. institutions undermine confidence in the greenback. The firm sees the dollar as overvalued and recommends diversifying into a basket of alternatives, specifically the Norwegian krone, Australian dollar, and Japanese yen. High US rates and growth once justified the dollar's strength, but that foundation is now fading. I just thought this was a funny thing to read
Yeah, that
for obvious reasons.
that brings me to this book, Lynn Alden. Nothing stopped.
Yeah, that's the next book I want to read.
Nothing stopped
After,
this train. I haven't been reading it. I got too many books. But
yeah,
so I
yeah, you know,
bought
I got my
seven.
Satoshi book, right?
Oh, you did already? Nice.
Yeah, yeah, I started reading it too. Very good.
Yeah. So I bought seven Bitcoin books or eight. I don't know, a lot for Christmas as my gifts to my children, my wife, and my brother's girl. I mean, my not my brother, my son's girlfriend. I said
Yeah,
everyone gets to pick whatever, Bitcoin book they want to read, and that's my gift to you.
yeah,
So it was like a grab bag, and yeah, I kept the ones that were left over.
nice.
I got to get
Great
some.
gift, great gift.
A lot of times I give away my Bitcoin books to people that I think, would
Hmm.
benefit, and then I want it back. Like
Yeah, you might as
21
well just
Habits.
buy them.
I want to rebuy that book.
Yeah, you might as well just buy them and gift them. Okay, we got young area. We got who do we got here? Um,
Urshwatarahia.
Morgan Stanley analyst says sell Bitcoin now. Uh, we call it the four seasons. We are now in fall. Fall is the time for harvest when investors should take gains before the next winter begins. Um,
I like
Michael's
good FUD. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You know what FUD is.
Mike, yes. Michael Cypress, head of U.S. brokers and asset managers research at Morgan Stanley, said institutional interest remains strong despite volatility. Spot ETH has made access easier. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I went to Google AI mode, which is probably what, Gemini. And I said, who is this guy? And he says, oh, he loves the four seasons of crypto. I said,
Crypto.
okay.
Lovely.
And I said, how many times has this guy been wrong with his calls or price predictions? Specific track record detailing how many times he has been wrong with his calls is not publicly available. Not publicly available.
So when you think like he works for Morgan Stanley. So these people think with the dollar lens. Their eyes
Mm,
are built on dollar lenses. When you see Bitcoin as the the apex predator, the basically the currency of choice, once you get to that point in your learning, it every drawdown or every like we're just looking at it through the dollar lens. Like there's
yeah.
it's amazing how long it's been. I mean, it's only been 17 years. It'll be in January, I think.
Hmm. Hmm.
It came to, but how long will it be until you can't trade your fiat currency for the Bitcoin? I
Hmm.
don't know if it'll ever be in my lifetime, but I know it's going to be. You're just like every epoch, it gets worse and worse. You get less and less Satoshis for your cuck buck or dollar. Basically, when you use dollars, you're pledging your allegiance to the US government regime. It's not the full faith and credit of the government is what you're is backing it. And it's guns, bombs, everything that forces you to use it. There's no force with it. Bitcoin's voluntary, and people around the world can opt in, however they like. A really good podcast I listened to. I don't know if you've ever heard of Simon Dixon, but he's like this. I don't want to call him a conspiracy theorist, but he's kind of off like me. But he's a Brit. He's from the UK. He was on
Hmm.
Saifedean's podcast, and he said something that really struck a chord with me. And or actually, Saifedean, I think, said it, and he was just like, "You don't have to. You don't have to buy Bitcoin. You don't have to convert anyone to Bitcoin. You can just buy Bitcoin and know you can't be debased. That's the best thing about it. Whether it doesn't matter what country you live in, where you're from, it's already gone, big enough throughout the world. Like it's reached flight takeoff. Like it's in the air. The genie's out of the bottle. There's no way to stop it anymore. And it's a worldwide thing. So when you can trade your Argentinian pesos, I mean, it'll take you a lot. I think it takes 1,400 to get a dollar. I always talk about that, but that goes up, and it's only going to take more and more pesos to get into a Bitcoin or into a Satoshi. Eventually, Satoshis will cost you dollars.
Yeah.
Right now you can get 960 something Satoshis per dollar. But the protocol with a dollar is to debase, debase, print more, print more. And the protocol with Bitcoin is there's 21 million. There's 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis. That's
Sushi's.
forever.
Hmm.
And get them while they're cheap.
Legendary short seller closes MicroStrategy trade. Jim Chanos unwinds a trade in which he was betting on Strategy's premium in the fall. Is this the bottom?
Obviously not. It's gone down the last 2 days since that because I heard that over the weekend, unfortunately. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
really?
rooting for MSTR because I my daughter has it in her portfolio, but luckily I scaled out into actual Bitcoin a long, long time ago, and I thought I got out too early because I got out at like three. I sold some, and then it went up even more, and then I sold 25 and then I sold 30 of her shares to give her a nice round. She had like 100 left of shares. And yeah, I was kicking myself because it went all the way up to like 500 and something, I think. But I
I
got 350.
yeah. Yeah, I like strategy. I think that if you own Bitcoin as like a core holding and then you sprinkle in some strategy. I like that idea. I like that strategy.
I think they're going to be the largest bank in the world when Bitcoin flips fiat.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could be like $1 trillion market cap if it works.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't get nationalized or taken over, like gun to the head or whatever,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you never know.
he,
Yeah.
I think he's in bed with the government, or else he wouldn't have gotten this far. So I don't
Yeah.
think I think they like him, and I think he's by the book. He's a former military, so I don't think they adjusted with his accounting, so he's crushing it every quarter, unless it goes below what 70 something is his what's his
Average.
average.
This says 65,000,
Jeez. That's
but his MNAV is 1.22. Um, yeah.
yeah, that MNAV is a very um, nebulous thing to get your mind around.
Yeah, it is. And market cap is now 64 billion. I remember when it was 100 billion. When it was probably $500 a share.
Yeah.
Um, why did I bring that up? Oh yeah. I just found that out today. Because I was trying to look for stuff to talk about. I didn't know he
And
closed.
yeah, I listened to a daily show. It's called Bitcoin and then I listened to Pleb Underground and This Week in Bitcoin. So I'm kind of a nerd
Yeah.
and stuff. 40 hours of Bitcoin podcast. It's just
Um, you know what I want to do when we do these podcasts is highlight writers on Substack that wrote something good, and we can that we liked and we can share it and like tag them. That's what I
yeah,
was thinking. Jordy Visser's like big time. He's a very prominent voice in the finance community, so tagging him is not going to make a difference. He's not going to see it. But yeah, I wanted to bring up this post and recommend it to you and other people.
no,
Um,
no, I don't think I read that one.
yeah, he talks about like his personal story from Brazil, where I guess he does it say he grew up there? He tended the wedding of the daughter of a driver my family relied on each day. And I guess in Brazil, drivers more than I'm trying to. The wedding was just 15 minutes outside. Let's see. So anyway, he pretty much was kind of pushing back on Peter Thiel's remarks about Bitcoin lately.
What did
You know,
Teal say?
with what's that?
What did Peter Thiel say?
He was describing the asset as having lost its libertarian edge, absorbed by institutions and governments. And
Gay?
remember, yeah, you remember he was like on the stage like a week ago, and he's kind of started saying this again that he's
Uh,
not really like into Bitcoin right now. It's not cool. It's not edgy anymore.
no,
Um,
I think I heard something about that, but he's like beyond rich. This
oh
guy,
yeah,
billions and billions of dollars, and he's
like Peter Thiel's not
fighting
always right.
loafers too, right?
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken. He's like the Sam Altman guy.
yeah,
Aren't
yeah.
they both a little light in the loafers?
He's like Elon Musk. He was founding fathers of all these companies, Meta,
But
all
Peter
that.
Thiel, if I'm not mistaken, if it's the same guy, he's the one that's doing these speeches on the Antichrist in San Francisco.
That I'm not sure of.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Peter Thiel, he's the Antichrist guy.
Oh, he founded Palantir, PayPal. We know that.
Yep,
He was on.
this is him.
Yeah, he
This
was
is
on
him.
Joe Rogan a few
Yeah,
times. Yep.
that's who he was on Rogan. So the guy, I think Tim Dillon, the comedian, was talking
Yeah.
about him. He had me dying. I just saw the clip, and he's talking about Peter Thiel and how he runs Palantir and all this. And he's like, and in his spare time, he decides he wants to do a three-part speech series on the Antichrist. He's like, how about go fishing? something like that. It was hysterical the way they
Yeah.
were talking about it.
I like listening to him. I'm not saying I agree with him on everything. Peter.
Peter, okay.
He's a smart dude and you kind of just take everything with a grain of salt. Nobody knows
That's
everything,
when people
you know.
talk about Bitcoin and they try and paint it into a box like, it's this, it's that, it's not edgy anymore. It's so like idiotic to
Cringe.
think yeah, you can't paint it Bitcoin is so like uh, uh nebulous, I guess. I can't even come up with a term, but the whole you're basically describing a network of millions of people that are connected through the internet that are using this thing as a store of value, money, communications, energy, time. There's so much to Bitcoin to just say that, like, oh, they're not libertarian anymore. How do you know? Like,
The post concludes with Jordy pretty much saying his pushback is that, it's not just about price appreciation, it's human inclusion. What began as a libertarian rebellion is evolving into a democratized infrastructure of global participation.
yeah,
So
agree with
that's
that.
kind of his, you know, pretty much like this is bigger than just like the price going up in an asset. I mean, this is freedom.
It's freedom money that you can, by your own volition, get into or abstain from. You don't have to do Bitcoin. You don't have to pay attention to Bitcoin. You don't even have to look at it. Most people, when you talk about Bitcoin, and I know because I talk about it to everybody I interact with, they shut off. They just
Mm.
go in a different direction and talk about something else. And that's fine. That's your prerogative. Do it. But the people that get interested, it's fun to see like the light bulbs go off. Like, oh, wait a minute. You can send me $5 in Bitcoin right now on my phone? What? That doesn't make any sense, really, because they're used to the FUD. They're used to the talking heads or the media spin this as, it's used for drugs and trafficking, and they want you to stay away from it. Or they want to confuse you with all these crypto coins or, you know, trash coins or whatever you want to call
Yeah, for
them.
sure.
Inflating the signal or basically muddying the waters.
Yeah, exactly. Um, QTR's writes on behalf of Peter Schiff. So Peter Schiff wrote this article. Uh,
Peter
we
Schiff's
all,
the greatest.
yeah, we love Peter Schiff, even though he hates Bitcoin.
I still
And
believe
just a recommendation, just a recommended read. First of all, Chris Irons, the author of QTR, he's number one in finance right now. Well, maybe he always has been. I have no idea. Uh, um, and Peter wrote this, and he posted on there, and it's about the mayor election, the Mamdani, his thoughts, and I think like Peter Schiff like lived for this moment, pretty much, and he kills it. He kills it. It's such a good great points on how New York City is so screwed.
I used to love Peter Schiff because I was a gold bug before I was a Bitcoiner. And Peter Schiff, when he would go on CNBC and talk like common sense stuff, like remember when he was interviewing people at the
The
what is
oh yeah, the protests down in
what was the movement?
yeah, what was that?
1%,
Great.
1%.
If you just go to YouTube and you type in Peter Schiff, what was that movement? Wall
Something to do
Street,
with
Occupy Wall Street, Occupy Wall Street.
Occupy Wall Street. That was it.
Perfect. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's
He was
beautiful.
great, and he made so much sense. He's just so, and this is
We
my
align with him so much, but
oh,
he picks his fighter
totally.
in gold. Yeah.
Yeah, like Lawrence Lepard, the big print. He is a gold guy, and these are older people. He just gets it because he has an open mind. And one thing, the guy that does what's his name? He does the show with John C. Dvorak. Not the No Agenda show with Curry, but the finance show they do. John C. Dvorak and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Andrew
Andrew Horowitz.
Horowitz, yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago I used to listen to their show all the time. Now I listen to the other one, No Agenda, but I used to listen to their finance show and he said, no matter what it is, no matter what idea it is, just open your mind
Yeah,
to the possibility that it could be something and you will do so much better in investing. And I wish I would have taken that to heart then because Bitcoin was in its infancy, but you know, live and learn. What are you going to do? But that is why these older people, the boomers, I call them, even though some of them are younger than boomers, but like Peter Schiff, they have such a closed off mind because, they only see the next 20, 30 years. But when you have children and grandchildren, and they're going to have grandchildren all the way down, it's eventually going to trickle down to your progeny.
sure.
And freedom money is what I want for my children's children's children. I don't want them
Yeah,
to be stuck in this fiat world where your mom and dad have to work, job after job and slave away. It's
sure.
better for the mom to stay home and raise the children and nurture them. Us men, we like to work. It's kind of a rite of passage.
I don't like to work. I like to write.
That's you like to work at what you want to
I like
work
to do what I want to do. Yeah,
at.
exactly. I don't want to have to work for the man and clock
Yeah,
in
you
nine
don't
to
like to
five.
go
Yeah.
work at something you don't want to work at to get shekels in your pocket. You would like to work at what you,
Financial freedom. That's how he's what it's called.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Having the choice to go work at whatever I want and provide value for people is what every, I think, man aspires to. It's not that they don't want to work, they want to work at what they like doing.
Yeah, exactly. Which is right on Substack. Honestly, that's
Hey,
what I like to do. I fell in love with writing, really, since like it kind of took a while for me to get into it, and then I'm like, you know what? I know what I want to write about. I want to write about Bitcoin and macro a little bit more, and not so much like analyze a balance sheet of Apple. Like I kind of was doing that in the beginning, but the Bitcoin stuff so much more fun.
it is because it has a hope to it that is not like anything else. Like your whole being changes. Like,
It does, yeah, but it's also like passive. It's a passive way to invest.
yeah,
And it's also like you can watch macro and you can watch the world going to shit and be
clown
like, oh,
show.
I'd be like, oh, I opted out of this, so I'm gonna watch the fire burn.
Man, back when Twitter was before it got Elon Musk took it over and uh there's so many feds that work in Twitter because they have to control the narratives. But
Mm,
before when it was the real wild, wild west, like I think 2021-ish, and then it really started to get shut down like 2022, 2023, and then Elon took it over and now it's supposedly freedom, but it's still censored big time. But man, back then it was so much fun. The memes were just out of control. Because if you pay attention to Jack Dorsey, because he got pushed out of it, because I don't think he wanted to let it be. But if you just pay attention to some of his earlier recordings, it all grew organically. Like those hashtags and everything, that
yeah.
happened organically by people just using it and figuring it out, like figuring out workarounds. You
Yeah.
notice you go into the search now, it just shows you all the trending topics. It's not
Ye-
hashtag anything.
Yeah, now you know why I put link in comments when I post my Substack
Mhm.
because and even then, like I had a few extra hashtags in there today and they're shadow banning me. Because they don't, Elon doesn't want people going to Substack. I get that.
Oh
But
yeah.
that's why I always put link in comments or whatever. But
There's
no,
a
and
Noster is the up and coming like freedom technology, and there's the Bitcoin veterans have a fifth generation, like it's fifth generation warfare where the battlefield is your mind, and everybody's in the battlefield, whether they know it or not. You're already a soldier, and you're in the war. So
That's
it's fifth
cool.
generation warfare, and it's a thing they recorded at their summit. They just had the summit Monday and Tuesday, so check that out. I'm looking to watch the whole thing. I only saw like a 5 minute.
Send it to me. Yeah.
I
And
still haven't found the full thing, but I think it's on Twitter and on Noster. I know they have channels on both.
yeah, and Noster, you need like pretty much like a seed phrase, right? You have to remember
Yeah,
your
it's not a
passcode.
seed phrase. It's
A pass.
basically pretty good privacy, PGP. So you have a private key and a public key. Those seed phrases in Bitcoin, that's the private key. It was BIP 35, Bitcoin Improvement Practice number 35, which implemented the seed phrase.
Yeah.
That's um that's a very good iteration.
So, can I post my Substack articles on Noster?
Oh
Like
yeah.
there's
Yeah, you just post the link under your thing. I'll post it on mine, and I have like three different nosters because I just would play around with different clients and on a
okay.
phone.
Yeah.
You know, it's really just a
Yeah.
learning.
How about you handle Noster? I can't handle anymore. I
It's a
can't
lot.
handle
Yeah,
anything more.
I just like
Yeah.
going on there to learn about stuff and
Sure.
you get a lot of signal on Napster where you don't have to sift through the BS.
Sure. Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for the evening coming and
Yeah,
joining, and we'll do it
yeah,
next week. I'll let
yeah.
you
I'll
know
see
what
you
night.
next week.
Yeah. And anything else you want to say? Where can people find you?
Oh,
Or do you want to be found?
yeah, I'm not really I just like conversing about Bitcoin, but you can find me on Twitter. I'm Golf Winch. I'm Golf Winch everywhere, but I
At
really don't
Golf Lynch?
like Twitter and Noster anymore.
At Golf Lynch, right?
Yep, at Golf Winch, GOLFWINCH.
All right. Sounds good. Have a great night.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep.